It's Mundo in the Morning. Now on FM at 95.7. Set a preset on your radio. KCMO Talk Radio.
I'm giving Donald Trump a big old A+ for what happened on Friday in Alaska. Good morning. Happy Monday. Glad you're starting off the week with us on KCMO Talk Radio. 95.7 FM. We're always streaming on the KCMO Talk Radio app. Now, you might sit there and say, oh, you're just kissing the ring and doing what you think. No. That is not what's going on here. The reason I'm giving Trump an A+ is not because anything substantial came out of that meeting on Friday. Although I definitely would give him an A+ for when he flew the B-2 bomber over Putin's head while they were walking on the red carpet. That was fantastic. A little reminder to old bad Vlad that you screw with us, you're going to have real problems there, big guy. The reason I'm giving Trump an A+ is because there are further conversations now set to happen today at the White House, right? We're going to have Zelensky come to the White House. We will have many of the top leaders in Europe coming to the White House. The NATO Secretary General will be here as well. They are all set to meet today with the President of the United States. There are actual conversations happening that gives peace a chance, that gives this war a chance to come to some kind of conclusion. The bloodshed, after 3.5 years, has a chance to finally come to an end. Conversations are continuing to try to make that happen. No, there's no ceasefire right now, and obviously that would have been great if Putin came out of that meeting and said, I've agreed to a ceasefire immediately with Ukraine. Didn't do it. That would have been awesome. Okay, we'll see what Zelensky has in mind today. We'll see what the European leaders have in mind today. We'll get to more of that throughout the morning. But the fact that the conversations are ongoing, we're further along than we've ever been. In 3.5 years of the worst war in Europe since World War II. That is something that we all should, regardless of your political party, I don't care if you voted for Trump or not. You can't say that these aren't steps in the right direction. Now, they may go nowhere. And there's no doubt there are some people that are lining this thing up today to blame Zelensky. They're going to line this thing up today and basically say, if Zelensky doesn't acquiesce to whatever's on the table, this is all Zelensky's fault. He deserves what's coming. He's gotten a bunch of U.S. help, and he's ungrateful. I'm not going to do that. I don't believe that's fair to do to this guy. He has been on the right side of history. Putin is an evil, awful man and one of the worst leaders in the planet's history. But at the same time, the way that Trump handled it, dealing with someone like that on Friday, was as good as you could have expected because now the conversations continue on. No one else has gotten to this point. So if nothing else, we're trending in the right direction. There's nothing not to like about this right now, John.
Well, that's funny. What about the other meeting? I thought they had another meeting because I'm reading here how Putin won and embarrassed Trump right here on American soil.
I know. There was so much of that. So
it's
much
like
of
a whole
that.
different world.
I know. It's amazing. I mean, Marco Rubio, our Secretary of State, he was on a bunch of shows yesterday. But listen to what he said on ABC to Martha Raddatz when she's like, what are Putin's concessions? Come on, what? He's like, you think I'm going to tell you?
Can you name any concessions that Vladimir Putin made during this meeting? Have any
I wouldn't name them on your program.
Have any concessions
I wouldn't name
been
them
asked?
on your program. Why would I do that?
Where is the pressure?
Of course, because you can't have a peace agreement. No, you can't have a peace agreement unless both sides give and get. You can't have a peace agreement unless both sides make concessions. That's a fact. That's true in virtually any negotiation. If not, it's just called surrender. And neither side is going to surrender. So both sides are going to have to make concessions. So, of course, concessions were asked. But what utility would there be of me going on a program and tell you we've wagged our finger at Putin and told him you must do this and you must do that? It's only going to make it harder and less likely that they're going to agree to these things. So these negotiations, as much as everyone would love it to be a live pay-per-view event, these discussions only work best when they are conducted privately in serious negotiations in which people who have to go back and respond to constituencies, because even totalitarian governments have constituencies they have to respond to. People have to go back and defend these agreements that they make, and so and figure out a way to explain them to people. So we need to create space for concessions to be made. But of course, concessions were asked.
Of course, says Secretary of State Marco Rubio, concessions were asked. Obviously, concessions were asked. But barring Donald Trump walking out of that meeting on Friday with a letter from Putin saying that he's retreating and he's sorry for the last 3.5 years, you were never going to appease some of these people. It would have been impossible to appease some of these people. And that's what Martha Raddatz was alluding to right there. It's like, well, he didn't have any concessions. Yeah, I know. But at least the door is slightly open. The door is open. We'll see what happens today at the White House. Zelensky's meeting with Trump at 12 o'clock Central Time. So we'll see how that thing plays out. But, man, at least we're talking about this, right? We're talking about this. That's a massive positive when you look at where that part of the world has been the last 3.5 years. And for a lot of people who have insisted Trump doesn't care about Ukraine, doesn't give a rip, isolationist, let Russia do its thing, let Putin run wild. That's not what I saw from this guy on Friday. Yeah, he tried to chum up Putin a little bit, mush him up a little bit. That's what he does. You knew that was going to happen, right? We all knew that that's part of how this conversation was going to play out on Friday. But when you fly a B-2 bomber over a guy's head when he's meeting you on the tarmac in your country, I think you've got the upper hand. 913-408-7957. We're rolling on a Monday morning on KCMO Talk Radio 95.7 FM. Libby and Waldo, go ahead. You're on KCMO. Good morning.
Oh, Pete, I agree with you on so many levels. And I also was telling John, I'm going to speak out here. I am not a communist, by the way. I am a Republican.
I'm not a communist.
I want to tell you.
Thank you for that preface.
Okay, that's no problem. I want to tell you, though, I was impressed with what Putin did after that meeting. And here's what it was. In any type of mediation, and I had to study mediation as part of my master's in counseling, so this was a real big point with me. The thing he did that brought a lot of things together is that he referenced the fact that we are neighbors and that we have burial plots for Russian pilots and U.S. pilots in his country, with our flag flying in his country and the Russian flag flying in his country, as well as in our country. We have the Russian flag and the United States flag over the same people that fought in World War II. And I think that when people realize you've got to find a way to have a conflict resolution, I think by the fact that he said, hello, neighbor, when he met President Trump on the red carpet or whatever, I think that we're neighbors, and we're not always going to like our neighbors. And I also think, Pete, I wish that we could just stop the name calling. I don't know. I just wish we could stop it. I mean, I don't think it helps. It's just aggressive and it's ugly. Yeah, I know what he's done. Trust me, I know what he's done. I've been following it for years.
Yeah, but here's the thing, Libby. I think what Putin did there, he just kind of was also trying to mush up Trump a little bit.
You're right.
I mean, he's.
You're right.
I watched that whole press conference, and Putin spoke more than Trump. And frankly, I thought Putin came off like an out-of-touch, complete and utter scumbag. That's
really?
How I think.
Okay.
I don't care that he's our neighbor. I know that, yes, we have troops buried next to each other. This guy has single-handedly, due to a weird fantasy he has for Eastern Ukraine, led to the death of hundreds of thousands, if not millions, including 1 million of his own people, according to reports.
Right. And I don't disagree. I really don't, Pete. I really don't. I'm not here to debate. I'm not here to disagree. I totally get it. I'm just saying that I don't know. Just saying hi, neighbor. I don't know. There was just something about that, and I thought, okay. Well, I don't know.
I appreciate you, Libby. Thank you very much for checking in. I just think
Bye-bye.
Putin's doing everything in his power to delay or avoid economic sanctions. I mean, if they squeeze him, if he can't utilize banks around the world, the banks could squeeze him. Obviously, if we start tariffing countries that are doing business with Russia, specifically with their oil, that's the next step here. So he may be trying to delay that. He's obviously trying to get in Trump's good graces. I just hope Trump's not buying it. And I don't think he is. I don't. On the text line, Pete, is Zelensky going to wear a suit today? Mark, have you seen any betting odds on Zelensky wearing a suit? He's got to have a suit on today. Guarantee you he's got a suit on.
I haven't seen any odds, but I would say over-under suits over 0.5.
Yeah. He's going to wear a suit, and I would put the wearing a suit at like a minus 350. That means $3.50 to win $1. He's showing up in a suit. I promise you.
Oh, yeah.
He's going to have a suit on today.